Welcome to Lexicon, your visual guide to public international law. Our topic for today is main principles governing the international legal system, so let's begin. Number 1, international law is state-centered. So international law regulates the conduct of states as main actors on international scene. Responsibility of international organizations and transnational corporations also became quite topical in the last decade. However, international legal instruments still traditionally address states. Number 2, there is no single authority in international law. So in the national legal system, on top of the hierarchy, you have the president, the monarch if you wish, or the government. In the international legal system, there is no such authority. This means that the national system is vertical and centralized, whereas the international legal system is horizontal and decentralized. So there is no central body making law or enforcing law. Number 3, international law is based on state consent. To define, consent is a legal or official permission to do something or an agreement as to action or opinion. And international law is based on state consent. As there is no single lawmaking or enforcing authority, states need to agree to assume legal obligations. Number 4, responsibility is collective. So in the national legal system, we speak about individual responsibility. A person who commits a crime is then individually responsible for it. In the international legal system, we speak about state responsibility, which by its nature is collective. The whole state is liable as a single legal entity. So if a national court or a military general, they disregard international law, we speak about state responsibility. There is also a notion of individual criminal responsibility in international law. It is possible for especially grave violations of international law, war crimes, crimes of genocide, and so on, but this is not the topic for today. Number 5, sovereign equality of states. The essence of the rule is that all states have equal rights and duties and are equal members of the international community irrespective of their differences of an economic, social, political, or other nature. States have to respect the personality of other states. Number 6, non-intervention in the internal affairs of another state. It means that states do not have the right to intervene directly or indirectly for any reason whatever in the internal affairs of any other state. So the examples would be encouraging overthrow of active government, inciting political destabilization, financing terrorist activities, economic pressure or coercion. But still the last one is quite vague because the withdrawal of economic aid is not necessarily a violation per se. Number 7, the use of force is prohibited with very limited exceptions. So, Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the Charter of the United Nations provides that all members shall refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state or in any other manner inconsistent with the purposes of the United Nations. Are there any exceptions? Well, yes, there are 2. First one, collective action for protection of international peace and security, which is governed by Chapter 7 of the UN Charter. And second, individual or collective self-defense if armed attack occurs, Article 51 of the UN Charter. Number 8, preserving peace and respect for human rights is key. So the Second World War brought not just the physical destruction of cities and damage to economies, but also enormous human suffering. And so after war, there was an understanding that human life is truly valuable. This is also reflected in Article 1 of the United Nations Charter, which provides that the purposes of the United Nations are to maintain international peace and security and to take effective collective measures for the prevention and removal of threats to the peace, and then to achieve international cooperation in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights and for fundamental freedoms for all. That was it for today. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I see you very soon.